let's segue into a logical next topic, which is the DNI position. The mortgage guy, who may be the acting head of 18, 19 intelligence agencies. And let's talk, while we're at it, let's talk about the new nominee, Jay Clayton. So we've got tell me if I'm wrong, we've got a scheduled hearing for Clayton coming up. Is it this week?
Yeah, we've got a hearing on Wednesday. And, I've known Jay Clayton for some time. If I was choosing, he might not been my choice, but I think he's an honorable individual. I think he understands the rule of law. He's had experience as the Securities and Exchange Commissioner chairman. As you know, the Southern District of New York is one of our most, where he's been U.S. attorney, has been one of the most important roles. But I've still got questions for him. There's some red lines. Don't punt around on who won the election in 2020. Tell the truth. Yeah. And then what I particularly want is him to answer straightforwardly about how we're not going to abuse this position the way Tulsi Gabbard did on domestic interference in our elections. Remember, Ms. Gabbard showed up at that infamous raid of the FBI down in Fulton County, Georgia. So he has to assure me and others that we are going to preserve the integrity of our elections. And the ironic thing here, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because I could nerd out forever, but many of the protections of our elections were set up during Trump 1 after the Russian intervention. And, CISA, our cybersecurity agency, worked very well with state voting rolls. Yes. The NSA did good things. The FBI did good things. And all of that has been systemically unwound under Director Gabbard. And what I need to hear from Jay Clayton is election security this year will be a priority. And his job should be focusing on foreign intervention, not trying to tip the scales here in America.
Amen to that. Because look, the guardrails that were put into place, as you said, literally in the first week of Pam Bondi's role as the new Attorney General, she dismantled, for example, the FBI-led Foreign Influence Task Force.
Yes, sir.
All under one roof, multiple agencies trying to fight back. And boy, do they, especially with NSA, they fight back online attempts to hack the propaganda that comes at us from foreign powers. And my concern with somebody like Clayton, and certainly if Pulte gets in there, Bill Pulte, even for a minute, is that they're going to immediately try to attach this foreign threat. We've lost the agents and prosecutors who work the foreign threat. We've dialed away from it, from a SIGINT capability, allegedly. And so now we're easily duped by a DNI who wants to go, there's a foreign threat to the election. And we've got to change the rules and we got to do this different. And I don't know how you get that into his head that can't happen.
Well, Frank, you just explained it better than I've been trying to do this on a repeated basis, because the DNI can take a piece of either false intelligence or, as you know, a single source piece that is not validated and use that as an excuse. Yeah. So one of the things I've been doing have been trying to talk to folks like you and others from the intelligence community, from law enforcement, from the military. I think our military is still one of our best last lines of respecting the Constitution, and also seeing as some of my Republican friends, maybe who are former, that will just say if something smells fishy coming out of the DNI, take a pause and take a moment. Mm-hmm. And the fear I have, Frank, is, and I've lots of business leaders, they all say individually, but they're so afraid of retribution. At some point, an extra, couple dollars on your stock portfolio, if we take away the integrity of our elections, I just hope and pray that, I don't want to sound naive, but that people will stand up. I know I have great faith, frankly, and a lot of your former colleagues have a great faith in a lot of our former intelligence professionals, but we just don't know in this kind of world where everything hears their own news source, whether there'll be enough. But I am terribly afraid. And the irony is, I'm more afraid. I think the foreign interference, Russia, China, et cetera, will still try. But I'm more almost afraid of people inside the administration trying to manipulate this and then be, accelerated by the foreign activities.
Yeah, bingo.